Hey everybody, it's Mr. Marshall at Stony Lane. I have a really fun video for you today. I have some friends here that are going to help us learn about how to be a better writer by using things in their makerspace. So, the first thing I want to tell you is a makerspace is a special thing that we have in our classrooms here at Stony Lane. It's just a big box full of things that you can make things out of. It's got things in it like Farah. What are some things in your makerspace?
My makerspace, I use.
Well, tell us what's in the box. What are the things that you can use?
So what you can use for this is like um, a toilet paper roll, and for the top you can actually use. If you have some leftover Easter eggs, you can use the top and just tape it really well. If it
Hmm.
starts to rock sometimes, just tape it with each time it starts to rock.
Hmm.
And if you need a holder, you can use a paper towel
So
roll.
there's all different things. Like
Yeah.
there's other things that you didn't use, right? Because there's things in there like tape and glue, and there's stuff like yarn and duct tape,
Yeah.
right? There's stuff in there like cotton
Yeah.
balls.
There's even a sponge on the bottom.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot of things. You can just take anything that you find around the house and put it into your makerspace if your parents let you and you don't need it anymore and you can use it to make things. Okay. So Farah here and her friends in her first grade class in Mrs. Greco's class, they were they're writing all about books, right? Those are information books. Those are books that teach you about something. And all of them were writing about something. What is your all about book all about?
Singing.
Singing, because Farah here knows a lot about singing, don't you?
Yep.
Okay, so Sarah decided that she was going to use the makerspace to help her write her book. Okay, she already wrote some of her book, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you show us your book? Do you have it
Yeah.
here?
Yep.
So Farah's going to get her book. All the students in Mrs. Greco's class are writing about things that they already know a whole lot about. Okay, and so she thought she knows a lot about singing, so she wrote a book about. Can you just hold it up so we see it? That's her singing book. Okay, and so the next thing that they did in Mrs. Greco's class is they thought about how they can make something from their book to help them keep writing their book. Okay, so since Farah knows a lot about singing, right? She then thought, well, what can I make with the makerspace that helps me think about singing? And what did you make?
A microphone.
She made a microphone. Okay, because sometimes you can use a microphone to help you sing. So watch what she did. Can you get your microphone?
Yep.
Okay, can I hold it?
Yep.
Look at this microphone. Isn't that cool? Can you tell us about the parts of your microphone?
So each part I added a design because any microphone you can add what you want, like designs, no designs, like patterns, no patterns. You can leave it all black. You can decorate it
Okay.
like that.
So when you're done making your object, like Farah here made a microphone, right? She put buttons on it. What do the buttons do? You talk about the parts. That's what I was going to say. You talk about the parts. And what Mrs. Greco said is you say it out and you catch it and you write it down, right?
Yep.
So talk about the buttons.
So um, each one of these buttons changes a melody. Like if I have if I like wrote a song and it doesn't sound good, like let's say I'm making a song and I'm in the middle and I don't like how it sounds, I just turn one of these buttons and then it'll make a different sound. So then it can like really change the sound and you can test it out
Hmm.
and to hear it, and then if you like it you can just keep it that way.
Okay, so that's what Farah did. She thought about the parts that she built, and she thought, well, let me catch some of that and write it down in my book. Did you add that to your book?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you're working on it. Okay, and you also said something about the background. Can you tell us about that?
So I one day I was like, so it was we were doing writing and we were getting our makerspace. So I took a look at my makerspace to give me an idea because I was all out of ideas that day. but looking at the designs I made, it gave me an idea. Why don't I add a background? Because when you're singing with a wall, it may be like the song will go like boring. So like the background makes it feel like those people are in that place. Like if I use a space background, those people will feel like they're in space.
Okay, so what Farah did was she thought about where her object goes. She thought about what's around her object. She thought about the background. And then she thought, let me write about the background. So if you make something else, like if you were writing about the desert and you made a cactus, you could think, well, what's around the cactus? And you could write about that. So Farah did that with her microphone and she thought, what's around the microphone? And she wrote about that. Did you add that to your writing yet?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so you put that into your writing. And where did you put that into your writing? What part of your book?
Like you mean the background?
Yeah,
The background is number 6.
chapter 6. So here it is. Look at this
I mean
background.
4. I mean 4.
4. Look at that background. And her Makerspace microphone helped her realize that. Thank you for teaching us that. Let's learn from someone else in Mrs. Greco's class now. Okay, so now I'm here with Eden. Eden is also in Mrs. Greco's first grade class here. And Eden was writing an all about book about what?
About the beach.
The beach. She knows a lot about the beach, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you show us your book? Where's your book?
Oh.
Okay, go get your book. So Eden knows a whole lot about the beach, and so she decided, like, can we just look at your table of contents, right? So here we go. Here's her table of contents. She has a chapter about the ocean, a chapter about sand, a chapter about fun stuff, a chapter about food, and a chapter about a house. Okay, and so and she wrote a chapter about all those things because she knows about all those things about the beach, right? And then can you show us the beach that you made with the Makerspace? Look at that. Can you tell us about your beach?
I added sand castles.
Well, don't start with that. Start with what you had first. What's the blue part?
It's the water.
It's the water. What's the yellow part?
This is the sand.
That's the sand. And then over here, what is this thing? This little stripe thing.
It's a carpet.
It's like a towel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you know a lot about this, right? So, and then Eden did something really important. You know what she did? Tell us about this. What are these things?
These are the sand castles.
Uh-huh. These are sandcastles. And what do you know about sandcastles?
So they use buckets
To do what?
to make it.
Hmm. People use buckets to make their sandcastles. And why do they make sandcastles?
Maybe they like it.
Hmm. And that's fun. Do you think that's something that you can add to your book about the beach? That's an important thing about going to the beach is you can make sandcastles. Wow. So did you add that yet? Or you're going to add that next?
Wait, what?
Did you write that already?
I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's something that you can write now. Okay. So you see what Eden did? She made her project and then she added a detail that she could talk about and catch and then write. Okay. That's something else that you can do with your makerspace. Okay. Thank you, Eden. Let's learn from one more person. Okay. And this is Jake. Say hi.
Hi.
So Jake was writing a book too. What was your book about?
Flag football.
Flag football. Jake knows a lot about flag football. And so he was writing a whole bunch of stuff and then he decided to make something in the makerspace. What did you make in the makerspace? Hold it up.
A belt and a flag.
Okay, a belt and a flag. What did you make this out of? Can you show it really close? What is that? It's tinfoil?
Yeah, tinfoil.
Okay, so Jake did something a little different because he made his project and his project is not like the others because he's not just looking at it, he's going to use it. He's going to do something with it. So what do you do with this with what you made? Can you hold it up again? Show us how you use it. What are you doing?
I'm ripping the flag off.
You're ripping the flag off, right? Okay, so show us how that works. Okay, so when you rip the flag off, why is that important?
because because it
What does that tell you?
it tells you that you have to start over again,
Okay,
like in the game.
okay, and when that happens, that means that what happens when in the real game when something like that happens when that rips?
You have to start
You
over.
have to start over, and then that reminded you that oh, that's something that happens in the game. I should write that down. Did you like say it and then catch it in the air and then write it down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something that you can do. So what Jake did was he made his object, hold it up again, and then he didn't just look at it, he did something with it. He used it. Show us how you use it. Okay. And that reminded him of something important that he can add. Okay, so you can be the kind of writer that gets ideas for your book and things that you can add by doing the things that Farah and Eden and Jake did. You can look at your object and think about its parts. You can look at your object and think of where it is and what's around it. You can use your object, and all those things will give you ideas of things that you can add to make your writing better if you're writing informational writing like the way they were. Okay, so thank you guys. Come here. Want to say goodbye?
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for teaching us. Why don't you try that in your writing, and I'll see you next time.